Hi, beautiful goddesses and gods. Welcome to my channel, Elle's Temple. My name is Elle. I am a goddess guide and tarot reader. And today I'm very excited to be bringing you a reading all about what seeds are you planting for your future right now. This is a very special bonus reading I'm recording specifically on the eve of Imbolc, which is a really potent time for setting new intentions. So, for those of you that don't already follow the Wheel of the Year, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that now. That'll be in another video in coming months. But just to kind of quickly introduce Imbolc, it's one of the festivals in the Wheel of the Year. There are 8 main ones, and Imbolc, it sort of marks the first stirrings of spring. So it's not quite the main spring festival. That's Ostara, which is all about, like, it's associated with like eggs and fertility and birth and bunnies and all those kind of things. And it's usually around Easter time. But Imbolc is the festival that is normally the 1st or 2nd of February, and it marks the sort of like the heralding or the call the sorry, let me get my words straight. It marks the first stirrings of spring. So it's the time when like the lambing season kind of kicks into gear. It's the time when you start seeing the little first buds of spring, like the daffodils are coming out, and the days are getting longer, things like that. There's just, a little bit of a quickening, a little bit of freshness in the air that hasn't been felt up until this point. And it's that kind of time of year where you start to feel like, oh, okay, I can see a light at the end of this tunnel. We are still in winter, we are still in the cold, and we've still got a bit of a way to go until Ostara, or until the spring. But we can get there because we know that spring is just around the corner. It is coming. We can feel it stirring. And so for those of you who like to really tune into the energy of nature and of the seasons, it's a really, really potent time to start sowing new seeds or new intentions of what you want to manifest and what you want to experience in your life for the rest of the year. So in particular, the seeds that you sow now in Imbolc, you can start to see how they might be ready for harvest around the sort of harvest festivals a little bit later in the year. So like just past midsummer, sort of early autumn festivals like Mabon and so forth. So that could be a really interesting experiment to do, is to look at what intentions that you set now, especially anything you still want to maybe clear away or release, but also the things you want to call in and experience and manifest. And then maybe save it. And, if you put it in a journal, or even if you save this video, if you find that it really resonates in terms of the specifics of the things that might be coming through for you, and you can look back on it later in this Wheel of the Year, like around the harvest time. Or whenever you are called to this reading, you could just tune in intuitively and see when you might be drawn back to see when those things come into your experience. And it's really, really powerful. It's something I've been working with a little bit over the past year, and I'm going to start offering more videos around this, and hopefully more readings around each of the kind of Wheel of the Year. But I would love to hear your experiences if anyone else has been using the Wheel of the Year to manifest, or just like the moon cycles or the seasons or anything like that. It's really, really potent. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to pick, I've got the beautiful Goddess Dream Oracle here by Wendy Andrew, and I'm going to pick 3 cards. I just feel like it's really appropriate for spring because it's got lovely spring, or the first buds of spring. It's got lovely buds on the front. So oh my goodness, you could not ask for a better card. So pile number 1, you are going to be new beginnings, take a fresh look at life. That's an amazing card to get for Imbolc. I mean, it's kind of more Ostara because it's got the egg and the rabbits, but it's still a very like fresh spring energy. So pile number 1, you will be new beginnings. So you are definitely going to be sowing the seeds for some kind of new beginning, and we'll go into more details. I've got lots of oracle decks here and a tarot deck, the Herb Crafters Tarot, so we'll be looking at both tarot and oracle messages for you. Let's see, pile number 2. Can I have a Goddess Dream card for pile 2? Wow. Okay. So pile 2, you are going to be insight, be open to enchantment. So that is the seed that you are sowing, a seed related to insight and growing your insight, and maybe magic with enchantment there. Ooh. And pile number 3, wow, that came out fast. Self-exploration, fairy tales and myths. Beautiful. Okay, my lovely, so take a moment to tune into the energy of the 3 cards, see which one you're most drawn to. It may be that you're drawn to more than one, but just trust your intuition, and I will see you in your pile. Okay. Hi there, pile number 1. If you chose the gorgeous and very appropriate, I must say, New Beginnings card for this Imbolc reading, this will be your reading. So let's get into the oracle cards for you. Let's see. So we'll start off with the Herbal Astrology Oracle. I pre-shuffled all of these, so I'm just going to get straight into pulling some cards for you. This is going to be a bit of a shorter reading because it's a bit of a bonus one. So let's see. Can I have a card for pile 1? More about this new beginning, please, Spirit. Whoa, there we go. We got 2. Lovely. So this new beginning, teacher, Arnica, and we also got nettle action. Beautiful. I love the artwork on these cards. Okay, I'm going to put that in the beginning. Sorry, in the middle, actually. There we go. Lovely. And I'm just going to pull a few more cards and then we'll get into the guided messages for you. Can I have a Goddesses, Gods and Guardians card? Whoa. King Neptune sensitivity. Beautiful. And cards with Oracle card. Wow, okay, that's too many. No, that's all right. Okay, we got divination, guides, Ogum, tree spirits, and Bloodoweth, wisdom, power, transformation. Wow, this is a very powerful reading. I'm going to put that there. Okay, and then we'll start with these and then we'll get into the tarot portion of your reading in just a moment. Let's just see if you can see. There we go. Hopefully you can see that okay. Cool. Alrighty. So pile number 1, this new beginning, the seeds that you are sowing. I feel like pile number 1, you are really going to be going through a period of awakening your sensitivity. And this could be in regard to a number of different things. This could be in regard to like your energy, your emotions, your sensitivity with, like I'm kind of seeing someone doing some kind of medicinal work. So some of you might be like, you might make some kind of medicine like homeopathic remedies or herbal remedies or teas or tinctures or like apothecary type things, or just kind of healthy products or even healthy beauty products or something along those lines. And I see you, like your sensitivity around like your being able to, you know, maybe detect beautiful, like say for example, if it's an apothecary, like different scents that go really well together, and like a beautiful perfume or a soap or a, you know, like a body oil or something like that. Or if it's more of a healing product, like say it's a flower essence remedy, for example, it might be that your sensitivity around like which plants to use and when to farm them or harvest them rather, and which things work well together and things like that. It's like your overall sensitivity is increasing. For those of you that don't resonate so much with any kind of like physical medicine or whatever, it may just be that your sensitivity is increasing in regard to just generally perhaps becoming more emotionally sensitive, more empathic. Some of you might identify as an empath, but you might just generally feel like you can start to feel the emotions of others, or you're noticing you're absorbing the emotions of others a lot more, or their experiences, or even like psychic sensitivity, because Neptune here can rule over like psychic senses, like your sixth sense, your ability to perceive the future or have visions or downloads or dreams, like prophetic dreams, things like that. So it may be that I see sort of two groups. Some of you are more on that end of like your psychic and emotional sensitivity is increasing, and for others of you it's more of a like your sort of senses or your like healing ability sensitivity is increasing. But this is very much a the seeds that you are sowing at the moment are going to bring in this beautiful like up leveling in your skills, I guess, up leveling in your sensitivity skills, so that you can actually become like, you can share that wisdom with others. You're going to be like this very seen as this very wise person. I'm seeing like a wise elder almost. Even some of you might not be that old yet. You might still be very young, but you have like almost like old soul energy, or um people tend to still come to you for answers because you're still just very wise in what you know. You're still a sort of teacher in the sense that you can share your wisdom with others. You're very good at sharing your wisdom with people. That might be something that really starts to awaken for you this sort of wheel of the year, like, so to speak. If you're sowing the seeds right now for this sensitivity to be heightened, in time, the more you work with that, the more wisdom you grow, the more you can get to a point where you can actually share that with other people. And again, I'm seeing here with divination and guides, it's like you could be a guide for others in some way. So for those of you that resonated with the psychic side of things, where your sensitivity to perhaps being able to prophesy things, or be a bit of a like a seer or a sage or something, like you can sort of tune into other people's emotional selves, their higher selves, their soul self, their guides, their ancestors, anything like that, anything on that realm of being sort of some kind of medium or something, or just having sort of heightened psychic receptivity. You might find that you can, like later in the year, or maybe some of you already do this actually, you can start to divinate for people in some form or fashion and actually do that as a profession. Perhaps it may not necessarily mean like you give up your day job or anything right now, but it's just something that your sensitivity is going to heighten so much that you can actually do it, perhaps not just for yourself or randomly at perhaps every now and again you might have in the past had little insights, or you might have gleaned little tidbits here and there about certain people, but now it's like ramping up to a point where you're like, actually, I'm getting a lot through for people. My sensitivity is so much that every time I meet with someone, I'm getting these impressions about them. Like I can pick up information about them, and like maybe I should do this. And maybe you're starting to like say do some sort of divination form, whether that's runes, whether that's tarot, whether that's astrology, whether that's the I Ching, whatever it might be, or just tea leaf reading, or even just giving like soul impression readings yourself, because you don't even need sort of a like cards or a prompt. You can just do it straight with the person, because your sensitivity is so heightened. And you're so wise and such a good guide that you can just divinate straight off for people, is kind of what I'm seeing for you, pile number one. Wow. And then with nettle and action, I feel like as you kind of grow your wisdom and as you step into this like role where you feel comfortable sharing your wisdom, you can really take action on that. You can really you can take action on becoming a guide here. I feel like you can be seen as some sort of some sort of guide for people in some way, whether that's, like I said, some sort of medicine woman or man person guiding about like herbal medicines or something to do with health, or whether it's like soul wisdom, giving people psychic advice, something like that, emotional advice, emotional guidance. For others of you, it might be something a little bit more traditional. It could be like, you're thinking of going into, say, counseling, because your emotional sensitivity is so heightened that you're yeah, you feel like you could be of service to people in as a counselor, and you go and get your certification in counseling or something along those lines, and you're really taking action on that, is what I'm seeing. Is you're taking action on ramp or on taking your sensitivity seriously and taking your skills in that area seriously, and actually stepping into a position of leadership where you share that wisdom. And like I said, this may not be a full-time thing for you yet. It may be, excuse me, for some of you, it may well be a full-time thing. And maybe that's the leveling up you're doing. You'll be leaving a job and stepping into this as a guide, or doing some kind of divination or some kind of medicine offering or something formally, as your, that is your career path or something like that. But for others of you, it'll be more like you're just going to start honoring the fact that you're getting this increased sensitivity and starting to see where it might lead you, is what I'm seeing. So you'll be different. There's obviously different people here. It's a general reading, so you'll be on that spectrum in different places. So I'm going to go into the tarot portion of your reading now. So let's see, I might move these cards so we can leave these ones up here. You can still see them. Okay. Go. Alrighty, so can we ask the Crafters Tarot Spirit for more information? I feel like that one came out. Two of Cups, Chicory. Yeah, so sorry, Two of Cups, Two of Air, which is the Two of Swords, I should say, not Two of Cups. Interesting. I wonder why I said Two of Cups. Two of Swords. So this is interesting. This came up in another reading I did recently. So there may well be, with Two of Swords, that's normally about making a decision between two different options, or really having to go within and trust your intuition on something. So it may be that indeed there are two paths for you, or there is this new beginning coming in where you really have the option to transform into someone who is a guide, and someone who is giving, like, actually paid to give wisdom to others in some form or fashion. And maybe you're at a bit of a crossroads, or at some point in the near future, you might be at a bit of a crossroads as to how you sort of bring that into your life a little bit more and take action on it and really honor it fully. I'm seeing little white butterflies on this card here, and we've got transformation there. So there really is quite a big transformation that's going to happen for you from a certain form of, like, almost like it is a really, like, a spiritual transformation from being like a caterpillar into a butterfly is sort of what I'm seeing. Like, you're really gonna evolve, and it's like so that you can fly. I'm seeing this as like this wisdom and this skill that you have is so that you can fly. It's like you don't need to you don't need to crawl around on the ground as like a caterpillar anymore. Interesting. Let's see. Got any other messages for pile number one? Wow, that one came flying out. Four of Fire, Elder. Wow, what did I say about? I said something about you're seen as a wise. I literally used the word elder. You're seen as a wise elder. And with that wisdom card, we talked about elder. And even though, like I said, you may be quite young, but you just have this wise old soul energy, and you have a lot of wisdom already within you. And with all these sort of medicines and things here, this could well be with regard to something to do with like medicine, like physical medicine of some sort. Or maybe some of you thinking about being like going into being a doctor or a nurse or something traditional like that. So it could be either on the traditional path, or it could be on a more alternative medicine path. But I think there is a new beginning in that Four of Wands is to do with, or Four of Fire is to do with like creating a foundation in something that is going to last. It's going to be a long lasting, it's commitment, like a really strong foundation for yourself for the future in something that you're really passionate about, because Wands is all to do with that fire energy. So it's passionate energy. It's also very spiritual energy. So again, this doesn't have to be medicine or even alternative medicine. It could be spiritual medicine and being like a spiritual guide and being an emotional healer. So again, like I said, could be things like having a new beginning and looking into, say, counseling or something like that. It'll be different for all of you. So any other messages for pile 1 on the new seeds that they are sowing? Wow. Tulsi, awakening. Yeah, I think I said something about awakening. You're going through a big, yeah, I think when I was talking about the butterfly, we had transformation over here, and we had the butterflies on the 2 of Air card, and we've got awakening here with Tulsi. So you're definitely going through like an awakening, a stepping up. I'm seeing the lavender around the outside here. So I feel like this is a very, this is a process that is going to be very healing. But also I see it as that like you're kind of both of these things for people, and that you're this Tulsi medicine, this very like strong medicine for people in whichever field it is that you do. But you're also very like soothing and relaxing and comforting. Oh, I'm just getting like an energetic vibe from some of you, and you've definitely got that real healer, like comforting energy. So if anyone's ever told you that, like, oh, you would make a great like counselor, or you would make a great fill in the blanks, like someone that people go to for healing in some form, whether it's emotional healing, whether it's physical healing, whether it's some kind of alternative healing, like people might have told you like you have such a comforting presence. And that's that. I see that like lavender energy. It's like you're very healing powerfully and like with potency, like the Tulsi, but you've got this very soothing aura, and you're able to hold space for people in a really lovely way. Wow. Who are you, part number 1? You guys are amazing. Gorgeous energy. I love this. I want to come and see you. Please tell me when you have your practice, or if you already do have a practice. I would love to come and see you. I can feel your presence. Here we go. Last one, 10 of Earth. Yes, 10 of Pentacles. Love that. Horsetail. So yeah, this is like your ultimate, right? The 10 is the completion of a cycle, and it's like the ultimate security and stability and the ultimate happiness and the ultimate foundation for you. I guess it'll make you happy, it'll make your family happy. It's very earthy energy here with this like woven basket and the woods here. Again, I'm just getting this kind of old vibe energy. Oh, sorry, old vibe energy, old soul energy, I should say. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the tarot portion. I'm going to finish up pile number 1 with a Sacred Rebels Oracle card for you guys. Can I have a Sacred Rebels card for pile number 1? For this new beginning. No. There we go. Wow. Come to life. Beautiful. And I'm just going to put a little, so I don't get blocked on YouTube. This is beautiful. This is very much showing, I feel like this is sort of showing in like a painterly form, like you transforming, you bringing yourself to life, going through this transformation. We've got these little white butterflies again, So we had the little white butterflies on the Two of Air. When you're going through that process of making a decision about something, there's a transformation that needs to happen. And we've got transformation on this card. So there's definitely like you're bringing yourself to life. Like maybe you're in something at the moment or doing something at the moment that's a little bit like black and white or doesn't really like tick all your boxes, or like you're too sensitive for it, like your energy's too sensitive to do the thing that you've been doing. It's too sort of perhaps linear or too structured or too harsh an environment or just too black and white or too logical or whatever it might be. And really your soul is calling you to like come to life, to like bring yourself to life through doing this kind of healing work that you're being called to, being a guide, being some kind of, whether it's divination or medicine or whatever. But do know that this new beginning, these seeds that you are planting are like it's just going to grow and grow. Your sensitivity is going to keep growing. So if you already feel really sensitive, pile number one, that's just going to keep ramping up to a point where this transformation just sort of happens for you, and you just suddenly you're a butterfly and you're just flying off into your beautiful future. So yeah, wow, really powerful reading, pile number one. That is really, really gorgeous energy. I so love doing this reading for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and send it round. Just tells YouTube and the algorithm and everything to share the video out there. Helps my channel to grow with this lovely new channel that I've just started. I'd love to hear your Imbolc intentions if you feel open to sharing those, but no worries if not. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love, and enjoy Imbolc and setting your intentions, and I will see you soon. Hi there, pile number two. If you chose the Insight Be Open to Enchantment card, this will be your reading. So I'll start with some oracle cards for you. I've already shuffled these piles, so I'm just going to get straight into pulling some cards for you. See what messages we have today for pile number two on this new beginning, this new seeds that are being sown, this Imbolc for path ahead related to insight. Let's try that again. We have a card for pile number two, please Spirit. We have a card for pile number two. Whoa, there we go. Wowza. Motherwort strength. Beautiful. Love that. Okay. Another card for pile two. Another card for pile two. Skull cap stillness. Lovely. Strength and stillness. Okay, I'm just going to pull a few more cards and then I'll get into the channel messages for all of them. So we have a goddess card for pile number two. Poverty, devotion. Actually, I think I'll do one of these. And we have a cultic spirit card. Pile two. The weave is, wow, fate, manifestation, decisions. Devotion, strength. Okay. Okay, let's start with these. And then we'll get some tarot cards for you. So, pile number two, let's see. What am I getting through from Spirit for you? Stillness, strength, be open to enchantment. Yeah, okay, devotion, the weavers. So, I feel like for you, pile number two, there's a lot of, well, at least with these two cards anyway, and with the sort of essence of this poverty devotion card, there's a lot of third eye chakra energy. And actually she's got a beautiful jewelry and a little like an a wee, yeah, a piece of jewelry kind of in the middle of her forehead. Sorry, I'm just blanking. I can't think of what that's called. I know there's a name for it. Apologies. But anyway, the point is that her third eye is sort of highlighted in this card, and I'm getting strong third eye chakra energy from this insight. And I think is this, yeah, I guess skull cap, the purple color of this flower, and also with the scorpion here, I'm getting like sort of strong Scorpio vibes. So some of you may have Scorpio quite strong in your chart, and Scorpio to me often makes me think of like the third eye chakra, and like being very intuitive, having those sort of that, like, it's, I think because it's like Samhain or Halloween normally falls over that time, so it's that energy of like being able to see beyond the veil, being able to see beyond illusion, having that like connection with like the other side or the other realms. I feel like that is something that is a seed that you're sowing at the moment, that is going to start growing for you and evolving for you. It's like, and with devotion, it's like your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice or your intuitive practice is going to really heighten, or your magical practice. With be open to enchantment. Some of you may be really into, like, say, spells or some kind of magical practice or magical work, or even just like powerful intention setting with the moon or something like that, or just wanting to commit to living a more sort of magical way of life, like a more like seeing the magic in the everyday, like seeing the synchronicities and the signs, and like connecting with the messengers from the other world. Like, you've got the raven here, and she's got a raven on her head as well. It's like the raven is the messenger from spirit, or from the other side, or from the other world. So there's something around getting really still, going almost like into like a hermit mode, or like into the woods, even if, for those of you that have a practice of going out into nature or going into the woods, and connecting with that side of yourself in a really committed and devoted way. It's like going to be something that you're going to really practice as like almost like a daily practice, is what I'm seeing. And in doing that, in orienting your life in that way and being open to enchantment, that will bring you so much strength. It will really bring you so much like physical, emotional, spiritual strength to deal with what you're dealing with. I'm seeing maybe some of you, I'm picking up some of you might have like a weakened energy field for some reason. I'm not quite sure why that is, but with this like female body parts here in the ocean, and then this looks like a family here. This could be, some of you might be, say, mothers or fathers. You might have a family, or you might be a caregiver, or there might be a lot of you might have just given birth, for example, something like that. But I'm picking up that some of you have like been through something where your energy field has become quite depleted, and in creating stillness, devoting to your spiritual practice or your intuitive practice or your magical practice, or whatever it is that helps you connect with like your higher self, with like nature, with the moon cycles, with messages from spirit, messages from the other side, messages from the ancestors, that will give you a lot of strength. That will help you get through whatever it is you're going through, and heal it, and move forward in your life, and be able to get to a point where you can weave the kind of life and lifestyle that you really want, and manifest the things that you really want. Okay, I'm going to move on to the tarot. I feel like that's kind of as much insight as I'm being given at the moment. I think the tarot might give us more. I've changed tarot decks actually, in case some of you come here from pile number 1. I was using the Headcrafters Tarot, but for you, pile 2, I felt like the Everyday Witch would be more appropriate. So let's get some messages for pile 2. Wow, yeah, 10 of Wands, but it came out in reverse. I feel like that's meant to be in reverse. There's some kind of burden. Yeah, going through this process is going to help give you strength and help you get to the top of the mountain and put this, all these sorry, pile 2, my words today, my goodness, brooms, there we go. Put these brooms or whatever it is you're carrying down. It's like you're carrying the burdens of a lot of people, or the weight of a lot of people, or a lot of things. Could be the weight of like ancestors, even. Like there could be a lot of heavy energetic work that yeah, has never been really properly processed through your like family line or something like that. Or it could just be, you know, the day-to-day responsibility, the day-to-day grind. You know, maybe you're a parent and you just have a lot of responsibility and a lot of like, you know, people relying on you. And like with this little cat on her back, it's like you've got, you know, children literally leaning on you, you know, they and physically and then energetically and emotionally and, you know, this, that, and the other. I'm sort of getting this, it's like you can barely take time for yourself. You can barely take time to breathe yourself because you've got so much weight on your shoulders from everyone around you. So there's a lot of like burden you're carrying. But I feel like going into this space of stillness and connecting with your insight will really help you release those burdens that you're carrying. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm just tuning in to see if there's anything else that I'm getting through to elaborate. Okay, I'm just gonna move 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, pile 2. Just getting everything in the shot. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm getting with the decisions here and this Page of Pentacles, he's at a crossroads and he's tossing a coin and he's like, should I leave this city behind, or this town behind, or this home behind, or this job behind, or whatever it is that he's come from? It's sort of, with that tower there, it's like some kind of institution. It's like you're maybe leaving some kind of institution behind, and you're looking at a map, but you're looking at a pathway thinking like, should I go that way or that way? So there might be something around coming to a crossroads for you as part of this journey towards tapping into your insight and being open to like the synchronicities in life and magic of life. It might lead you to a bit of a crossroads, or a bit of a taking a new path. Ooh, taking a new path. A bit more elaboration. Can you elaborate a bit more on this? Page of Pentacles. Pile 2. Knight of Wands. Wow. Taking action on something you're passionate about. Yeah. Knights are about taking action. You can see here he's got a wand here that's all lit up. He's going forward on his broom. He's right up in the air, and there's this fire-breathing dragon, which is like a sort of a creative power. So this insight is like something, and this connection with your sort of magical side is something you're really passionate about, I feel like, pile 2, and something that's going to really help propel you forward. It's like it's going to give you energy. So where maybe you have been a bit depleted by something, whether it's giving birth or parenting, or maybe a job that you're not in love with or something, it's like connecting back into that magical side of yourself, that intuitive side, that opening your third eye chakra and connecting with your very much your like spiritual side is going to give you a lot of energy to propel you forward and give you a lot of strength for the next stage of your journey. Maybe more messages for part 2. Wow. Yeah, and bring you to a position where you are going to be like financially independent possibly, or just have a lot more time to enjoy the finer things in life. We can see here she's sitting here with a glass of wine and reading a book. It's completely the opposite energy to this, literally the opposite energy to this. So there's something around carving out space, carving out some stillness, devoting time to your spiritual practice or your magical practice or your whatever practice, yoga practice, or whatever helps you connect, right, with your authentic self, with your soul self, with a sense of spirit. Whatever helps you do that is going to give you a lot of strength. It's going to help you lay down these burdens and not feel so burdened by life. It's going to help you move forward, take action on things you're passionate about. It's going to propel you. It'll help you make decisions, and it will eventually, ultimately, bring you some kind of financial, possibly financial, or at least abundance in some form. Enough abundance that you can actually enjoy your life a little bit, and you're not going to be like lugging around these brooms so much. And this might not be, abundance is different for everyone. For some people, that looks like having just loads and loads of money in the bank so that they just psychologically feel more secure, or they can, say, buy a house, or they can spend it on something, or they can go traveling, or whatever it might be. For other people, it's having like an abundance of time. And I feel like for you, Pal 2, that is more what you're looking for. It's not necessarily loads of money, although sometimes a certain amount of money or financial freedom buys you time, but it's more just like carving out time in your day, like having something that is bringing in some kind of income or some kind of stability or security or support or something, so that you can like just take time out to read, or take time out to enjoy a glass of wine, or take time out to travel somewhere like sunny and warm and lovely, and really enjoy yourself. And you can absolutely weave that life for yourself. Pile number 2. This magical connection you have, because I feel like you have an ability to connect in with like a manifesting power, because you've got the Weaver's fate, manifestation, decisions. It's like you can connect with the other side and then like manifest the dreams that you want to manifest. It's just about creating some space and carving out some space and being really devoted to that, and that will see this come through. We get one more card to finish on for pile number 2. One more card to finish on for pile 2. Wow, 3 of Pentacles. Move that out of the way. Yeah, you're going to be recognized for this. You're going to be seen as a bit of a master here. And with that yellow being all painted, I'm seeing like this is like solar plexus energy, which is like you shining your light, you expressing your truth, you putting yourself out in the world, you being really powerful and self-empowered and having strong self-esteem, and receiving being successful in whatever it is that you're doing, and receiving admiration and support, and also possibly like collaboration. Maybe this work that you end up doing, or this practice that you end up doing, is something you really collaborate with people on, or you build something with people. Like, for example, I'm kind of getting a vibe of seeing someone through this process of devoting themselves to this magical side of themselves, or this getting really still and being able to hear messages from spirit. Maybe they create, for example, a new form of meditation or something like that. And then they collaborate with others to create an app that allows other people to access this same process. Or, it could be something like that. It's like you end up doing something that brings you some kind of success, or see some kind of, again, possibly financial success. We've got two Pentacles cards, which are related to, you know, it's that earth energy. So it's stability, security, finances, money, income, reward, things like that. So yeah, you could well be receiving some kind of financial gain from this, for sure. Okay, pile number 2. I'm going to finish up with a sacred oracle guidance card for you. We have a sacred rebels oracle card for pile number 2. Sacred rebels card for pile 2. Interesting. Your cards are coming quite slowly, pile 2. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's indicative of the fact that like finding time to carve out that stillness so that you can hear those messages from your higher self is quite important, because it's like I feel kind of like there's something that's slowing those messages getting through to you. There's something that's been slowing those down because you haven't been able to create very much space to listen to that side of yourself because you've got all these burdens or something. So clearing your energy is really important. Grounding your energy, getting back out into nature if you can. Obviously, if you've just had a new child, if you are just a new mother, that might be very difficult. I appreciate that. But it may be, if you're able to get some support from somewhere so that you can really carve out some time to get still and get quiet and go into nature and listen to these messages, I think that will really help. So we've got seeing the true you and in the world, not of the world. So I'm just going to put that on there so I don't get blocked on YouTube. But so yeah, I feel like this is that insight, right? Like the card was insight, and then we've got seeing the true you. So there's something to do with like some part of yourself you haven't been able to really see. And there might be like a little bit of a journey that you need to kind of go on, like leave behind your burden somehow. Like maybe going on a retreat could be really useful for you if that's something you're able to carve out time for, to get really still and listen to like a true side of yourself come through. And in the world, not of the world. Again, I feel like that's just reiterating what I was saying when I was speaking about the insight card at the beginning, about like how you are able to see beyond the veil. Like you have that connection with with the spirit world, really, and that connection with like the messages and your intuition. And there's this whole other side of you that's really like, yeah, look at how she's kind of reaching right up to like the sky. Like she's just so connected, and there's this light around her third eye. So there's this energy of like really being able to reach up and connect and get messages and be very connected with that side of things. I feel like that is really the true you. That is like your authentic self, but it's been sort of covered, or like you haven't been able to carve out space for that side of yourself because of all these burdens. I'm just tuning in pile 2 if there's another message that they want me to read from anywhere. Maybe from this one. Yeah, upright. Stillness after the storm. Let go of control. Trust in life. Surrender to the divine plan. Break open. I'm not going to read... too much about the medical side of it, but okay, so the guidance is the storm has passed. You've just weathered or are weathering a storm. Yeah, I can feel that in your energy pile too. Some of you, you've been through something recently. Ground deeply into the present moment. If you feel fear, find consolation. Find consolation in stillness as it readapts. The medicine of Scorpion embodies the stillness of darkness, and it assists by accepting sudden change with ease and calm. If you're feeling exhausted, drained, or depleted, this is the time to pause and withdraw to your cave. You're in the process of rebuilding after the storm. Don't rush, reflect. Take the time to birth a new structure that supports a new version of yourself. Wow, yeah. That is exactly the guidance that is just said it very eloquently in a way that I've been trying to say in a roundabout way for about 20 minutes. So I hope you managed to hear that part of the guidance and stayed till the end so you could hear that part, because I feel like that's the most potent thing. And I just saw 50-50 on the timer on my clock, or 5050, which is like the two fives. Fives is all about change. So yeah, there is going to be a change, like a rebirth, a new version of you that's going to emerge after you've kind of got your strength back. But there's a need to kind of just get still, go within, retreat, go into like hermit mode, as I mentioned, let go of these burdens, clear out your energy, and then you can kind of connect with that side of you that's going to allow you to go forward and rebuild. So I feel like that's really going to be, that's the seeds that you're sowing right now, is just getting through, weathering whatever storm, or getting your strength back from whatever you've just been going through. But like in the coming maybe like 9 to 12 months, it might be a bit longer for some of you, maybe not as long for others, depending on what you've been through. But in the coming sort of 9 or so months, you will be able to start seeing more progress and start like tapping into this like Knight of Wands energy again and taking action on things. But at the moment, this next phase, particularly if you're watching this at the time of upload, particularly through this Imbolc in the beginning of spring, it's kind of just setting down those burdens and retreating from the storm and just like decompressing a bit. So okay, part number 2, I'm going to leave your messages there. I hope that resonated for you. Please leave me a comment below if it did, and share the video so it helps my channel to reach more people. Don't forget to hit the like button. It also tells the YouTube algorithm to share this content out there. Hit the subscribe button so you can see further readings if you like my reading style, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. And all the best with this process with Imbolc, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose the Self-Exploration, Fairy Tales and Myths card, this will be your reading. Okay, so I'm going to start off with some Oracle cards, and then I've got the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot for you guys, pile 3, and I'll move into the tarot towards the end. So let's get straight into your reading. I've already pre-shuffled the cards, so we can just jump straight in. Can I have a Goddess Power card for my lovely pile 3s? What is this? Ooh, new seed. What are the new seeds? Inexperience. Okay. We get another card for pile 3. Radical Acceptance. Beautiful. Ooh, I love the coloring, how they match. Gorgeous. Love these cards. Okay. Let's have a look. Can we get a Herbal Astrology Oracle? I'll just get a few cards and then I'll go into the messages. So bear with me. Get a Herbal Astrology Oracle card, please, for pile 3. Woo! Okay, Amanita Conduit. Gorgeous. I love this card with the little mushrooms and the little, like, elves. So cute. Oh my gosh, I'm going to put this next to this one. Some of you might be like on a kind of like a green witch path, or a green, like a forest, is it forest witch, green witch, woodland, kind of like connecting with woodland or something along those lines. No, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the Celtic Oracle. Let me have a Celtic Oracle card on my pile 3s. Whoa, that is too many. Okay, hold on. Let's try that again. I think that one wants to come out. Sacred waters, deep healing, emotions, and pilgrimage. Oh my god, a greeny, ferny color there. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Move that one over. There we go. Start with these and then we'll move into some tarot cards for you guys. Okay, pile number 3. Hold on, sorry, I'm just getting through. They want me to put one of these as well. Let's see, can we have... Wow. Oh my goodness. No way. Ah, that's crazy. Persephone twice. Persephone and experience and Persephone new beginnings. Well, that is just, that's never happened. That is really cool. I'm just going to put them together. I kind of like this one more. Maybe we should just use this one. But I feel like there is a reason why this one came out. I'm going to go into that in a second. And then we also got Star Maiden with Rest, who I'll put, oops, over here. You got so many cards, pile 3. I'm not quite sure why. You don't tell the other piles, but you got more than the other piles. Okay. Let's see. So, pile number 3. So let's start off with Persephone and inexperience and new beginnings. So and self-exploration, I feel like this sort of links in with the inexperience side of things, because I feel like for you, the seeds that you are sowing for this next, say, wheel of the year, or the next kind of 9 to 12 months period, 9 to 12 month period, is a strong push towards, or it's like you're strongly being called towards self-exploration and finding courage to be who you truly are and really express yourself and like have esteem in the skills that you have. Because with that like inexperience card here, it's like I'm getting a vibe of someone having, oh my gosh, and I've forgotten, I've just gone blank, I can't remember what it's called. Imposter syndrome. I'm getting a vibe of someone having a kind of imposter syndrome. Like you do know what you're doing and you are experienced and you are really good at what you do, but you feel really inexperienced and you feel like you shouldn't be at the party, pile 3. Like you feel really young, and it may be that you are young, and maybe that age-wise genuinely you're young, but whether you are or aren't, it's more to do with like the fact that you feel like some kind of imposter in some kind of field, that, or some sort of project or some sort of work, or maybe it's even at school, or maybe this is a past version of yourself. Like at school you did feel a bit inexperienced and a bit like an imposter, and that energy is carrying through into your life now as an adult. And there's some healing to be done around that, because this next to this Persephone experience, there's some kind of deep healing, some kind of emotional healing to be done around like your childhood or your teenagehood, or something around like your past, or something around like yourself at school, or even like your early work days. It's like there's been some sort of maybe like trauma, or being shamed, or being teased, or just not really even, maybe just not even really being encouraged very much, that is really needs to be healed. And these parts of you need to find like acceptance with Freya there. It's like there's a, I'm going to put this back next to there. I feel like I need to move these around. There's a process of, it's like shadow work, like going into the shadow, going into things that you've suppressed in yourself, like this sort of side of you that feels like an imposter or inexperienced or whatever, and shining light on them and being like giving them a lot of love and a lot of attention and acceptance and reintegrating them back into yourself so that like you can move forward on your path now and feel worthy of things or feel part of the world again, or like have a sense of belonging and have a sense of self-esteem and have a sense of like, yeah, like, hey, I deserve to be here. And like, okay, I may not be the most experienced person, or I may not be the furthest along, or I may not have all of the skills, but hey, I deserve a piece of the pie. Like I deserve to try this at least, or to kind of put my hat in the ring and like have this experience. Like I've got a perspective as much as anyone else, and like, you know, no, I may not be the expert yet, but like I know enough just from my life experiences or whatever. um I'm getting, sorry, I'm being shown this card that with these little elves. It's like, yeah, I'm hearing like playing small, pile 3. So part of this new beginning, this self-exploration phase, this the seeds that you're sowing towards what you're moving towards over this next year, is to do with like, uh, sorry, I'm trying to find the right words, sorry. It's like I'm getting so much energy through and I can feel it as like an energy, and I'm trying to put words to the what I'm being shown or what I'm feeling. But it's like you're this from this experience you've had in either childhood or in your teenage years or in your early work years or something, where you felt really deeply inexperienced and shamed in some way or whatever it was, and you kind of rejected certain parts of yourself, that's caused you to play like really, really, really small. And like what they're showing me, what Spirit's showing me is like this, like it's such a crazy image. This is a really weird thing to explain, but it's like they want to stretch you out, and it's like they like your aura, not in a really aggressive way, don't worry, like not on like a stretching rack like in punishment, just in like a like expand your aura and expand your like your presence and like your like being more of a statement in the world, like taking up space. um yeah, like conduit, like being able to channel energy. Conduits are like a channel for energy. So you you're, yeah, it's like you're, there's something to do with being kind of stuck in a place of staying really small and keeping small to keep safe is what I'm hearing. So whew, apologies, part 3. This has turned into a bit of a shadow reading, so which isn't quite what I intended, but these are the messages that are coming through, and I just have to channel what I'm getting. And so bravo if you're still with this, because it's quite tricky energy and it may be a little bit triggering. But I hope that it's helpful and it's bringing to light the things that may be useful to focus on over the coming months, because I know shadow work, even the word shadow work sounds really horrible and scary, but like it should actually be called light work, because yes, you have to go into the shadow to look at these rejected parts of yourself, or these parts, like these memories maybe that were painful, or these experiences that kind of caused you to play small in the first place and kind of hide yourself away with these little kind of like elf folk, it's like you've kind of withdrawn, and it's like you're kind of playing, it's like you're playing really, really small. And in order to step into this energy of this radical acceptance, which is kind of the opposite of this Persephone experience energy, in order to step into this radical acceptance energy, there's a need to kind of self-explore, go into like back into your childhood, go back into your teenage years, go back into these memories or whatever they are, experiences, and like just give them some love and accept them and reintegrate them back into yourself. And that acceptance process will give you, it'll be like this Persephone, the new beginning Persephone, the Persephone that comes back up in the spring and heralds the beginning of the spring, which is really relevant. We've got this very spring card, and I'm talking about Imbolc. If you listen to the beginning of the reading, no shade if you didn't, don't worry. I often skip intros as well, so don't worry. But the point of the intro, the point of this new seeds reading is that I'm filming it at Imbolc, which is heralding the very beginning of spring. And Persephone, for those of you that don't know the myth of Persephone, the goddess, she was abducted by Hades, and she goes into the underworld, and as ostensibly as his prisoner initially. And then her mother Demeter goes looking for her to try and rescue her, and she only manages to strike a deal with, I think it's Zeus or whatever, to get Persephone out. But Hades won't give her up for the full year. He'll only give her up for spring and summer. So when Persephone returns to her mother, that's when Demeter goes back into giving abundance to the land. Demeter's the goddess of the grain, so she gives all the abundance and, sets the crops, sows the seeds, so on and so forth, so that the crops can grow and, we can see plants growing and things again. But when Persephone is in the underworld, that's autumn and winter. So that's a kind of like the mythical story behind this Greek goddess around how those seasons started. And I feel like this is not insignificant for you, part 3. It's not insignificant that you're here now watching this reading about these new seeds. And it's not insignificant that perhaps some of you are watching this right at the time of upload at Imbolc. Because you are going through that process in your life right now. This spring is very significant for you because it's like, it's not just a new beginning as a season that happens every year. This is like a new beginning for you as a person in the world. It's like a spring for you. You're being kind of like, it's like a opportunity for rebirth. From seeing yourself as this inexperienced young person and playing really small and keeping your energy really like closed down and shut in, and like almost like I'm just seeing someone, like I said at the beginning, with some of you, I saw you being like a woodland witch or a green witch, and I feel like that's great, and I completely I love that. Like I just think, I'm all about that. I think that's amazing. But it's like the vibe I'm getting is that for some of you, you've reduced your world to a point where like you only connect with nature and with the green world and with that, like animals or the fairy folk or like woodland spirits or that kind of thing. And it's like you've kind of gone so far. It's not really gone so far down that rabbit hole. That's the wrong way of putting it. But it's like the spirit wants you to kind of come back out into the world again a little bit and like participate with the human folk again. And I know that's hard because of what's happened to you and because of that, whether it was shaming or teasing or something that made you shut down and feel play small in the first place. But like the healing that and acceptance that needs to happen is going to be, it's like really Sorry, pile three, I'm trying to find the right words. I'm getting a lot of energy through. Um, it's going to be a really potent process and a really necessary process. I feel like there's maybe with pilgrimage card here, there's some kind of like place that you could go that might help you to connect with your younger self. And with that self-exploration, fairy tales and myths, this card is all about like going back to your childhood or your teenage years or whatever and connecting with stories, whether that's fairy tales, whether that's a book you really loved, a novel, a memoir, a movie, you know, it could be even be a Disney movie, it could be just anything, and looking through the lines, looking at the archetypes that you were drawn to as a child or as a teenager, and kind of questioning them a little bit, and either like re-embracing them, like maybe there's parts of yourself that you've kind of forgotten about along the way, like as you've kind of become an adult. There's these sides of you that you had as a child, like maybe you read a lot of books about maybe it was about like some kind of nature person or something, or character who went into nature and connected with animals a lot, or connected with like the fairy folk a lot or something like that. And you know, you really love that side, but then that's been kind of shamed over time, or like rejected by people around you. And so you've retracted into that world, but you're really scared to show or enjoy that with any other human or with anyone else. In other words, you've sort of put it into your shadow. It's like a side that you keep as like you don't want anyone to see that part of you. Or, you know, it could be that you loved stories about, say, really feisty, I don't know, it could be like really feisty female characters or something if you were a girl, or however you identify. It doesn't have to be if you're a girl, but you know, just you really liked feisty female characters or something like that. And but somewhere along the line you've kind of lost your like power of your voice or something, and it's like something around doing a self-exploration process of going back into some of those stories that you used to love or connect with, is going to really help you like excavate these sides of you that have been a bit repressed, and like kind of dig them out again. So with Star Maiden Rest, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think this one might have fallen out. Okay, sorry. What I'm getting with this one is that this process of excavation and this healing might mean you require more rest than usual. There might be a bit of like emotional purging that you might be doing over the next period. Like, I don't want to kind of sound like say like, oh, this is going to be really sad time. It's not so much that. It's more just like as you remember these parts of yourself that you had put in your shadow or cut off and re-accept them, there is going to be a need to like rest and integrate those parts of you back in. And also that you may get messages about these kind of characters or stories or whatever through your dreams as well. You might get a sign through your dream, like maybe you'll dream about a book or a movie or a character or an energy or something like that, or like say some of you were into like graphic novels or something like that. You might have a dream a little bit along those lines, and that will give you a bit of a clue or a synchronicity as to like where to start looking to like connect with that part of yourself. Okay, so let's go into the tarot portion of the reading. I'm just going to move this. Okay. Whew, okay, so pile number 3, Spirit can have a message. Wow, that came out fast. Spirit of Wands, which is like the King of Wands in this deck, and the Monarch, which is like the Emperor, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, this process, this like healing that you're going to do around this sort of imposter side of yourself, or this inexperienced side, or this like young playing small side, is going to really help you level up in your life to be like this Spirit of Wands or this King of Wands energy. You can see there's a lion in the background, so really, really strong lines that are associated with Leo, and Leo is all about like shining your light and putting yourself out there and being really creative and being really self-expressive and being like the center of attention, not necessarily in a bad way, like not in a like me or selfish way, just in a like, yeah, I deserve to take up space, I deserve to shine my light, I deserve to be at the party, like, you know, look at me too, like I've got something to say as well. And it's kind of, again, it's the opposite of that Persephone experience energy. And also just someone who's really in command of like their creativity and their passions, their creative passions. They're going forward with those ideas. You can see she's got this like wand that's lit up, and she's like trailing this beautiful yellow veil behind her. There's a fire in front of her, which is like that creative spark. And the monarch being like the emperor. Again, we've got another big cat. So we've got a lion in this one and a tiger in this one. So I feel like this whole process of like healing and radical acceptance is going to just really fire you up, really give you so much strength and power to like not take anyone else's kind of BS. If that's something that you might have struggled with that sort of Persephone experience, you might have struggled with a little bit of people pleasing, or doing things that you think other people think you should do. Like maybe you struggle to really like identify what you're good at or what you want to do, and you, part of that like playing small is that then others have somewhat preyed on that and kind of said like, well, I think you should do this, and you're like, oh, okay, like sure, like you know me, like or I trust you, I'll like, okay, maybe I'll do that. And then maybe you've ended up feeling a little bit resentful or something in the long run, which is why this process of self-exploration is really, really important, and the main seed that's being sown over the next 9 months. So let's see if there's any other tarot messages for pile number 3. Any more tarot messages? Maybe that's it. More tarot mess. Whoa, nope. Cards are still chatting. 7 of Wands. Yeah. Again, like having that strength, and like look at the sort of battle armor kind of thing she's got going on. It's a little bit like this Freya self-acceptance. She's got a lot of like kind of warrior gear on here as well. They're both really, really strong cards. So like 7 of Wands is like, you know, you've been through a bit of a battle, you've been a bit scarred, but you're still standing strong and you've got more fight left in you. So like this process is going to really strengthen you and really going to armor you up. Like it's going to give you like psychological armor, like emotional armor, strength, power, more creativity, a stronger connection with like your spiritual self, your creative self, more purpose in, or more commitment to your purpose, all of that good stuff. Any other messages for part number 3? Woo. 5 of Wands. Yeah, interesting. So 5 of Wands I would normally get as this can be to do with like conflict, but in this card, this person, there's no one else in the card, and they're just holding a lot of wands, and they've got one knee up on a rock there, and they're looking pretty strong and empowered. So, and again, this is under radical acceptance. So I feel like this is like you are. 5s are about change, so it's like you're changing, you're growing through this process. You're going to go through this healing and find this strength, find this courage, find this like ability to keep fighting for your life and keep kind of battling it out. I'm not really sure why there's so much kind of battle energy here, but it's like maybe some of you have had people around you where they've just wanted to tell you how to be or what to do, and there's a need to like really strengthen your true self so that you know who you are, what you want, what your boundaries are, what you will do, what you won't do, what you want for your life, where you're going. There's a real like shift towards that. One more message for pile 3. Wow. 7 of Cups. Yeah, which is going to give you like more options. It's going to widen the possibilities for you. It's like suddenly you can be empowered to be in a position to like fight for like one of these other things in your life, instead of having to play small and retract and hide from the world and feel like an imposter or feel really inexperienced. You're going to be able to be like, like, well, maybe since I tried that thing, and like now that I've got this newfound like strength and courage and everything, like maybe I could try this thing over here, or like I could also do that, or like I've got all these different options available to me. Like there's all these different things that could emotionally fulfill me. So that's really beautiful and exciting. It's like, yeah, that's under the Conduit card, which I feel like is like, instead of just being a conduit for like these little elves and like just having your world be really small and just relating to like that kind of elemental world, it's like you can be a conduit for anything you want. Like you can very much like channel energy from anywhere, and connect with like other groups of people as well. Is kind of what I am getting for you, pile 3. So I'm going to finish up with a sacred rebel oracle for pile number 3 for the seeds that they are sowing. I have a sacred rebel oracle. Woo, that one. Yes, faith in the process. Absolutely. I'm going to put a little crystal so I don't get blocked on YouTube. There we go. Faith in the process. So yeah, this is linked with this like deep healing. There's definitely a process that you're going through. It may be that going through some sort of therapeutic process or counseling process could be useful as you heal that shadow work and do that deep healing. But for some of you, this might be quite intuitive. It might be something that you can go into nature. It might be, like I said, just connecting with your inner child, doing some inner child healing meditations, connecting with things that you used to love as a child. Maybe there's a bit of a pilgrimage place you could go to, or a retreat place, or like going back to your home country or city or town or whatever, and going back into your old room if it's still there, and like connecting with some of your old books or whatever it might be, and like, you know, doing things that you used to love as a child and really taking yourself through that process. But having faith in that process of evolution. Yeah, she's in, it's interesting. It's like, it's what I was saying about she's keeping her energy small, similar to that Persephonean experience. It's like there's a whole woman and she's just perched in like what looks like I don't know what that is, like a tin or something. I might see, one second, I might see if there's something a bit more to elaborate on in the book. 32. Yeah, it's like a trolley. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this. It's quite a long. This is the Alana Fairchild Sacred Rebels Oracle. This is an amazing deck, by the way, and the messages are really, really in depth. So I won't read all of it here, but just this part. You are in a situation where you cannot set right the course of events all by yourself. This is not an indication that you have done something wrong, nor does this suggest that you are not strong enough. It is a sign that there is something bigger unfolding in your life, and your willpower will be supplemented by the power of life itself. Sometimes a bigger plan needs to manifest for the benefit of humanity and the earth. You need to shift your perspective to realize that you are part of the greater unfoldment of life, that your individual life serves the greater plan, and that you are not separate from its genius. This is what is happening now. You happen to be instrumental to the greater plan, and as such, you need to accept your position and be moved, while also being empowered and protected as you make personal progress through your role in that grander scheme. This is a time for humility and trust. You need complete faith in the processes and events that are happening. There is nothing to worry about. You will be moved most fully and easily and with the most grace and assistance through your faithful surrender. Ironically, it is through complete surrender and total faith that we become the most empowered. When we are no longer trying to impede the perfection of the greater plan, we can be aligned with and moved by the process. Having faith in the benevolence of life rather than harboring the suspicion that life is seeking to catch us out, have a joke at our expense, or carelessly toss us about as though we mean nothing, then we can relax a little. Yeah, I think that's something that you might have gone through as a child or a teenager, like people making jokes at your expense or tossing you about as though you mean nothing or trying to catch you out. It might be some form of abuse or some form of like just something that you experienced at school or something like that's caused you to kind of have that belief about life. So where did I get up to? Having faith in the process gives you space to be curious about what is taking place and to relax enough to be open to what we are most in need of, even if we aren't exactly sure what that is or how it can happen. The guidance from this oracle comes direct from the greater source of life itself. There is now an opportunity for you to be moved from the situation you are currently in to the next chapter in your life story. You can't do it on your own. It is too big a shift. It needs the grace of life to intervene on your behalf. You will need faith, though. You may feel as though the wheels of your trolley are coming off or that they are a bit rickety, but you must understand that the voice of life is now coming straight to your heart with this message. I have resources you know not of. It is safe to trust in my ways and in my wisdom, for I love you and I'm guiding you into all that is rightfully yours. Know that what is rightfully yours is what your heart truly desires, and you need not fear loss. Nothing that is meant to come to you will be denied, and it is safe for you to let go and allow me to move you. Through faith, peace is restored and you're able to know this and perhaps have some fun in the process. And there's a healing process there, which I'll hold up to the camera. You can maybe take a photo if you can see that. Take a screenshot and maybe do that in your own time. But for now, I'm going to leave the messages for you there. I really hope that resonated for you, pile number 3. Thank you for persisting with it. I know that was quite a deep and possibly triggering reading, so well done if you managed to get through that and receive that guidance. But that is what wanted to come through in terms of the seeds that are being sown for your very much your evolution through this next sort of 9 to 12 months from whenever you watch this reading. There's definitely a new beginning around the corner for you, so just trust that that plan is unfolding and you are able to tap into this powerful energy eventually. So my lovely pile number 3s, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment if you feel comfortable sharing if this resonated. Hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more videos from me. Hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another reading. And all the best with your journey, and I will see you in the next reading. Thank you so much. All my love. Bye.